So I joined the military in 1968. I joined the U.S. Navy. I went to Officer Candidate School in Newport, Rhode Island. My ship, which I was on for 3.5 years, was actually homeported in Pearl Harbor. So when we deployed to the Vietnam War, it was from Pearl. And so we did 2 deployments while I was on the ship. When I first came on the ship, I was on the ship about 3 weeks. I was on the mid-watch one night, 2 o'clock in the morning. The mid-watch on a Navy ship is midnight to 4 in the morning. It's absolutely black outside. The officer of the deck, who is the main person who gives you orders, who drives the ship, he did a calculation on what course and speed we needed to come to get behind the carrier as quickly as possible to station. Captain was asleep. He woke up, did his own calculation, came up with a different calculation, and ordered a different course and speed. And I could tell even then there was something wrong. Well, I was doing nothing more than observing at this point, being completely wet behind the ears. 2 minutes later, looming up in front of us was the other destroyer, which we almost cut in half. The next day, the ship was all abuzz about the captain making a mistake. The captain, is he going to get us killed? And the captain did something extraordinary. Called a meeting of all the officers, except those on watch, in the officers' mess. And he said, we sat down and he said, last night we had an incident. I made a mistake. I want to spend the next hour analyzing it and making sure this can never happen again. And I saw in that 1 hour, the officers go from worrying about whether they could trust the captain to wanting to die for him. Why? Because he was saying effectively, I care more about the safety of the ship than my career. I made a mistake. I always remember that. He later made admiral. He's a great, great commanding officer, as it turned out. And I was learning leadership. I didn't really know it at the time. I didn't think of it that way. But by going into the war and serving under some absolutely outstanding naval officers, I learned a lot initially just by watching them and seeing how they acted in times of great stress. We all make mistakes. What really matters is fixing them. And I think that that's actually helped me tremendously. It's made me more human as a leader in tough business situations. And I learned that from him, and I'll never forget it.